Welcome everyone, I'm Dominique, CTO and co-founder of Dropsolid, and welcome to our podcast, the Open Digital Experience Podcast. We will be talking about content management systems, digital experience platforms, everything you need to build the best customer experience. We will be talking about Drupal, Mautic, everything open source to do this, and we will be interviewing experts from inside our company and also outside our company. So, if you have 30 minutes, you go on a bike ride, go on a drive, put on our podcast and enjoy and learn everything digital experience. Okay, welcome everybody at the Dropsolid podcast. Today with me I have Mike van Hemelrijck, Senior Marketing Automation Specialist, and we are going to talk about Mautic Marketing Automation. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Domi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, first question. What is Mautic?
Well, Mautic is the, let's say, only open source marketing automation solutions. So it's a marketing automation solution with the open source character, which would mean that there is a community behind it. So it is software, or it's a tool that you actually own. If we want to look at other tooling or other marketing automation where it's the properties it's owned by other companies, the actual data and the actual tooling, compare it to, let's say, a Drupal or a WordPress CMS, and so it's open source. It's actually your or you own it. You own the data, you own the tooling, and you can actually customize on top. That's an important one. You can customize as far as you want.
All right. Okay. Yeah. It sounds very interesting. So the success we had in open source CMSs in the last 20 years is now repeating itself in marketing automation. Like we see Mautic is going to have a big release from 4 to 5. Can you tell something about this? What's new in Mautic 5?
Well, we've been looking forward to that one. It's been quite some work to get to Mautic 5. They actually plan to release it in January 2023, so January this year. But yeah, it's quite a big release, quite a lot of changes. Okay, very technical as well. Let's not go into that there. But also a lot of new functionality and features we've been stuck on, or that has been quite hard to work with. To give you an example, Mautic works with a do not contact label. So whenever a contact is unsubscribed or bounced or whatever, it gets a do not contact label, which means that that contact will not receive any email. But in the past, there were some troubles with that. Why? Because you either have your marketing emails, but you also have your transactional emails. Having that label would mean that you can't send any transactional emails to that contact. So in Mautic 5, there's a separation. So you will have a do not contact label for marketing emails, and you will have one for transactional emails, which in practice would mean a lot of difference there, and a great solution to work with. What else is different? Well, again, behind under the hood, it's Symfony 5. It's PHP 8.1 or 8.1. But again, that's technical. If you look at the actual front end or marketeer side, a lot of bug fixing, a lot of optimization in speed, of course, but also there will be an email click heat map introduced. So that's something we haven't had up until now. But in 5, you'll be able to look at every email separately and see where they clicked and how many times. Just in combination with the A/B tests, that would mean a lot. In case of improvements or testing. So that's
does that mean that you don't need like tooling like Hotjar and Mouseflow anymore to give you the heat map?
Exactly. Yeah. To be able to set up an A/B testing with multiple emails and decide which one wins based on the actual heat map and seeing where the contacts or the viewers click. So that's quite a huge improvement. Other stuff maybe more useful to the actual users or the ones that are using it today is the fact that there are stages you can use in your campaigns, that there are stacks you can use in reporting, all stuff that has been reported in the community and has been added in Mautic 5. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, because Mautic 4 was already pretty competitive product. If you look at the adoption statistics, it's all Mautic 4 still. We saw in the last year, and this was for me, it was very surprising. We saw almost a doubling of the number of installs for Mautic, and actually it doubled. And to get to the number we were, it took 8 years. So what happened in 2023?
Well, honestly, to me, I don't have the exact answer for me, but to me, it feels like that there is a lot of focus on the marketeers now. While the community was very technical and the improvements that were happening in Mautic were mainly on the backside, let's say. I've noticed the last year that a lot of marketeers got involved. And there were a new Tiger team set up in the community specifically for UX, for UI, specifically for marketeers and the way of working for marketeers. So for me, that's an important one. More marketeers involved, more improvements towards marketeers, and yeah, more users or more marketeers using Mautic instead of the more technical profiles.
Right, awesome. So as in many open source systems, the enthusiasm starts with developing it, and then to really get it polished and really listen to the user. That's when you see a open source ecosystem maturing. Do I understand correctly that we are entering into that territory now with Mautic?
Yeah. To me, that's the big change that is happening right now. Yeah, we have a product that is working as it should. Of course, there's always improvements to happen, also on the technical side. But we have a product that is stable enough or stable to work with as a marketeer without actually having to, or the need to have the actual technical background to work with it. Yeah, that's a big step for me.
Okay. So yeah, if we would compare it to a fully polished product like HubSpot, which is the market leader, which is on the stock market, valued at multiple billions of dollars. Of course, Mautic is an open source community. How is it even possible that they are competing to such a player in the market?
I guess having quite an active community and dedicated people really working on it and having clients using it, having feedback returning back to the community. A lot of work has been done to actually polish the product. Of course, there's still areas where HubSpot, for instance, is better, but Mautic is focused on other areas where they can make the difference, and yeah, especially the open source part and the data behind it. Is really one of the cons for Mautic.
Yeah, because as a specialist, you also used to work with HubSpot. Could you give our viewers a little bit in depth, like where is Mautic making the difference?
There's many answers there. Sorry, there are many answers there. Especially there's also, of course, the pricing and the fact that they are really, of course, they are quite expensive, quite focused on amount of contacts. While working with an open source solution, you don't have that cap on contacts, so that's an important one. You can add as many contacts as you want. So definitely important for a lot of organizations. There's the open source factor, like I said, the fact that you own all of the data, that you own the solution itself. And of course, for me, one of the most important aspects is the fact that you can customize. Whenever something lacks or whenever you need a certain workflow or a certain functionality for your specific case or for your specific workflow, you can build on top. And that's just something that is nearly impossible if you look at, let's say, Salesforce, HubSpot, or whatever. Of course, they work on their product and they work on improving their product, but they won't improve it based on your specific way of working. While in case of Mautic, you can actually really shape it towards your way of working. So that's an important one for me. And so while the tool itself is really getting near the quality of, let's say, HubSpot, the actual accounts that there are really important. Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, because a couple of minutes ago you said, yeah, HubSpot is still better, but you mean then it's more polished, it's more feature rich, it's more mature.
It is more polished. No, it is more polished, but not that much. Really, Mautic is nearing that amount of that quality is getting really close to it, while there are just a lot of other aspects that HubSpot can't deliver or doesn't have. Huh? So we're really competing with HubSpot, or Mautic is really competing with HubSpot, while having the aspects where other companies, or especially organizations, are looking at. If we look at the governments and stuff, Mautic is the way to go, especially for the open source character.
Yeah, and also I imagine, and I know this from our clients, that if you have many contacts in the database, like for example non-profits, they might source from millions of people a couple of euros. They cannot step into a business model where they are have to do the rationale, where you're only paying a couple of dollars per user. They're only making a couple of dollars from a user, so it's impossible. Even for a government, it's impossible. So yeah, and that's what you say also. Actually, you are buying freedom, and you're buying a product that is nearing market leader polishment. So yeah, why would you not consider Mautic? Can you share a couple of success cases, Mike, where you see Mautic perform?
Of course. Let me think. If we look at the Inagro case, for instance, where they've really built on top, and they've built a solution where their newsletter is actually personalized on a contact level. So that would mean that they send, weekly or monthly, their newsletter personalized per contact. And we're talking about, I think, up to 4,000 different emails that are sent every time. And what was the case? Of course, we wanted to know what the result was, and let's just say what the result was with the personalization. And we noticed that there was actually a huge increase in open rates. I think it was about 40% extra, or double the open rate. So that was a huge result for that case. And again, looking at HubSpot, HubSpot, they don't have the solution to tackle something like that. It was really made specifically for Inagro, for the Inagro case, and it became really a great solution for them and a great result in open rates. Yeah,
double open rates.
Yeah,
amazing.
And then there was also the Toerisme Vlaanderen case, and that's also an interesting case for us. Why? Because Toerisme Vlaanderen, Visit Flanders, they have locations in many countries. They are located in Spain, in Switzerland, in Portugal, Netherlands. They even had locations in India, in the USA. So a lot of different locations, a lot of different offices working on the same Mautic. But they do wanted to have their contact base separated. So there was some really in-depth customization for them to apply to all of the local rules as well. We're looking at GDPR in Europe, sure, but there's also the US, etc., with different rulings. So they managed to really have a solution for every location, for every office separately, with all of them having their own way of working, and yeah, quite a complex case, but one that has proven to work quite well for them.
Okay, so many operational efficiency gains because of this multi-market approach.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so this is now we are getting into the DXP territory, yeah, with these cases where actually you not only have a CMS where your marketers curate the content and publish it to the web and many other channels, but also using data to combine the best moment, the best place to show the user the right content. Can you talk a little bit about customers moving from the CMS mindset to the DXP mindset?
Yeah, well, having your CMS in place, having your platform in place, of course, is a great step. But if you can add that extra layer on top from the marketing automation inside your DXP story, it makes a huge difference. Why? You'll get that tracking on top, and where you start tracking your unidentified visitors, and you really start from an IP address. You start tracking their how they react and what they visit and how long they visit, etc. And that profile starts building on top and starts getting new data and starts identifying towards hot leads, right? But what many people forget or are not aware of that is that Mautic also has a lot of ways or a lot of opportunities to actually personalize your website as well. So you can, based on your based on the behavior of your contacts, you can personalize your emails, sure, but you can also personalize your website. So you can even start personalizing your website based on the behavior of your unidentified visitors. So let's just imagine that you have multiple visitors on your website going through specific pages, showing specific interests. So that alone is enough to start personalizing, let's say, your homepage and making sure that those visitors are guided towards the right pages the next time they visit, or even in the same session. And so it's really building that personalization layer on top, both in emails as in website.
Right, awesome. So if I understand correctly, if you have your CMS, let's say your Drupal, your WordPress, you combine it with Mautic, in fact, you have the minimal implementation to call this a DXP.
Yeah, and you'll have a great improvement in terms of UX experience. It would be a huge difference in experience for the visitor.
Yeah, because the personalized experiences, we know that from research that they improve the time on site with dozens of percentages, and also the conversion rate. So all your hard worked traffic, all your SEO efforts, all your SEA ads, everything is just generating dozens of percentages in return on investment. Yeah. But then also hot topic, Mike, the whole and especially now in the AI age, the whole usage of data, the respect for the privacy, because yeah, in your DXP you can also use AI to build segments, to predict things, to even personalize it even better for the users. But how can you, with this approach, does it have any advantages on how the data is handled?
Well, what we've seen in the past and keep seeing is that, like I already mentioned, for organizations or for governments or whatever, it's really important to keep that data, let's say locally, or keep that data owned or in control or whatever, or how you want to call it. And that's really what open source is about, right? You can make sure that all of the data is stored on your own server, which you can manage and which you can just keep under control and make sure that it's there and make sure that it's retrievable and it's up there and whatever. It's yours and it's inside or is on your own server. And that's an important one for many companies today.
Yeah, especially if they start to combine it with proprietary information. Let's say they have proprietary content they want to combine with the user data. They want to keep it on they want to keep their IP in their possession.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Awesome, Mike. I see our time is running out. Thank you very much for your insights, and we will talk again in the future.
All right. Thanks, Domi. See you next.
Bye.
Bye.